Welcome back to the show, everybody. We got a good one for you today. We're going to talk about 30-year debt super cycle maybe coming to a head. We're going to look at evidence of that. We're also going to get a look at Exhibit A and Exhibit B from Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson from Ripple. You're going to want to see it. A new carbon tax possibly for Bitcoin that could be over $20,000 per coin. You're going to want to hear this. XRP 60% price surge is in the mix here, and we're talking about possibly a $20 XRP by the middle of 2020 and even as high as $100, some are saying. Let's go ahead and roll that beautiful intro. Here we go.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradley above at the top of the screen. Everything we're talking about here, we're over 1.8 trillion for the crypto space collectively as a whole, and that is an enormous number because gold is sitting about 8 trillion for gold as a complete market. So it is getting the attention of everyone around the world. You can believe that, from all different levels. And Bitcoin right now is back up at $59,920 now. And looking down at the number 7 spot, courtesy of the dereliction of duty of the SEC, we see 48 cents for XRP. It's ranging right now, a little above, a little below. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's get right to the news. If you are worried about taxes and you have a question, there is an Ask Me Anything going on later today at 12 p.m. Pacific time, which is at 3 p.m. At 3 p.m. Eastern time, with Clinton Donnelly, the crypto tax fixer. Make sure you tune into that. I'm going to try to tune into that to myself. So make sure you do. He has all of the answers you are looking for. You can bet on it. And there is a link in the description and comment box. You can look at those too. So I wanted to remind everybody, if you're new to the space, the World Economic Forum has been pounding the ground with the mantra, the Great Reset, and also the IMF with a new Bretton Woods. Well, a great reset from the World Economic Forum is really them talking about massive changes globally to the economy. And the IMF talking about a new Bretton Woods has been about talking about a new Bretton Woods moment, which in the original Bretton Woods was the creation of the IMF and the establishment of the US dollar as the new global reserve status. So that's what we're talking about. What's interesting is here is the Financial Times. Shout out to Ian Northing. Here is the Financial Times. A 30-year debt supercycle that has fueled inequality illustrates the need for a new regime. Time for a great reset of the financial system. This is from the Financial Times. All I'm saying by showing this is that this narrative is not being carried by cynical podcasters or YouTubers or crypto fans and enthusiasts. This is their narrative, and I think it's very important to note it is not being dropped. It is being carried by more and more magazines, critics, analysts in the space, and I think there's something to it. Now let's change gears really quickly. This is from the Wrath of Conman here. He has 2 letters, Exhibit A and Exhibit B, from the SEC versus Ripple case. And it says here, A is Larson explaining founders keeping 20% of the XRP, where B is explaining XRP promises to Ripple works by Chris. And I will just look at these quickly because I got to say, look, I'm not a lawyer. I'm certainly not a financial advisor. But I have to say, in full disclosure, I'm about 12 years short of being a lawyer. So looking at this information, I just want to show here, quickly go over this. This is a letter that they had grabbed for evidence here for whatever reason. And it's really Chris Larson explaining that founders were issuers rather than Ripple Labs. So Ripple Labs could be a user and not an issuer. Founders assumed risk of being issuers, which persists today. This protected Ripple Labs and was a key part in our first convertible note with investors like Ted Janus. Janus, 20% was comp for founders personally assuming this risk. Also, analysis from Perkins Coie was that investors and employees could not receive XRP, could risk SEC designation of security. Only founders could, Jed, author, and me. Further, post-March 2013 FinCEN guidance, the Ripple Labs designation as a user rather than issuer is and continues to be key, reducing risk to Ripple Labs holders like Jesse, increasing risk to founders and issuers. Further, the ledger was reset hundreds of times, leading up to the public launch in December 2012. Nonetheless, the ledger simply reflects property ownership of XRP, which was founders 20%, Ripple Labs 80%. I hope that helps. And then coming over to here on Exhibit B, and we'll remark on these in just a second. It was an exchange between Cameron, who was a VP at the time, and finance for Ripple, talking with Brad Garlinghouse. And here you can see Brad. We'll start at the bottom where the original message started. Hey, Cameron, caught up with Patrick tonight on a few things, and he mentioned that we are giving Ripple Works 1 billion XRP, ? Before asking Chris about this, I just wanted to get the update from you on what your understanding is on all things Ripple Works. He explains here, sure, I had to get the download as well this morning from Peter on all the history. When Ripple Works was set up, it was set up with a promise of 7 billion XRP donation, 3.5 billion XRP coming from Chris personally, and 3.5 from Ripple as a match to Chris's donation. This was approved by the board a while ago, and committed XRP is already excluded from our publicly reported holdings of XRP. To date, only 1 billion of XRP out of the 3.5 billion has been transferred to Ripple Works. Chris is now looking to transfer another 1 billion XRP to Ripple Works. The twist is that the board approved transfers of XRP only as a match after Chris made his donation. This time, Chris would like Ripple to transfer 1 billion in advance of his donation, since he already has enough charitable tax credits for this year, or something to that effect. We will need to get the board to sign off on this at the next board meeting. Chris wants to move forward with that. And that's where that is. Now, from this, look, they may be trying to illustrate with these two pieces of information and 100 other pieces of information that there was some kind of fraud or whatever going on, but I don't see it. Certainly, like I said, full disclosure, I'm 12 years short of a law degree, but the reality is this doesn't look like a whole lot to me. We'll have to see if this, along with other information, becomes cumulative. We'll watch for that. Now, moving to this, I want to go back to this. I shared this from Michael Val 5 links this morning, but stay with me here, because we could be, in anybody holding Bitcoin could be looking at potentially in the future a tax of more than $20,000 of the example of a $50,000 Bitcoin. And you say to yourself, you better walk me through this one, Brad. Well, you know what? Hold my hand. I'm about to walk you right through it right now. This is from Big Skinny. Big Skinny sent me this, and I was like, oh my, that is not good. What is not good? Well, the idea that a single Bitcoin purchase at a price of $50,000 has a carbon footprint of 270 tons, which is the equivalent of 60 ICE petrol cars. So, with that being said, we know 270 tons, right, is what the number is. And then Big Skinny sent me this, and he says, check this out. This is from the IMF. For instance, a recent IMF report estimates that a tax of $75 per ton of carbon dioxide applied around the world would make it possible to meet the Paris Agreement target of limiting global warming to 2 degrees Celsius over the pre-industrial yada, yada, yada. You get the rest of it. So, obviously, the thing to do is to say to ourselves, okay, well, we know that there is the Paris Agreement. We know that everybody's back into that. And going green is a big narrative of the globe as well as the current administration. So let's take $75 to the 270 tons of carbon that was just as an example from Bank of America there. So 270 times 75 puts us at $20,250 for a carbon tax. And make no mistake about it, that is not capital gains. How's that hitting you? It doesn't mean that it's instituted. This is what they're talking about. And if it carries over to something like Bitcoin or proof of work tokens that have a high carbon footprint, I have been pounding the ground about this, that there will be something. And this is not past, but if you don't see evidence that something is going to roll out that will affect proof of work coins and by default have Bitcoin affected from it, I don't know what to tell you, because you heard it here at the very least. And you're hearing the talk of it from the IMF, from the Bank of America. Something will look very much different. And then you say to yourself, well, why would they do that just for the carbon footprint tax? Well, sure, that's going to be part of it. But here's the other part of the equation. U.S. Treasury to auction $60 billion in 2-year notes. U.S. Treasury to auction $61 billion in 5-year notes. And the U.S. Treasury to auction $62 billion in 7-year notes. Meaning what, Brad? Meaning that the government may use a tax on things like proof of work Bitcoin to really make sure that people don't flee the bond markets. I'll let you work it out from there. I covered this yesterday intensively. This is from Steve Gould-Bronson. Shout out to you and Joni. World Bank says Interledger is very promising for the payments. Yeah. And so is the XRP Ledger, because there was diagram after diagram that I covered in that. And by the way, very, very low carbon footprint. That's what I wanted to get to there. And let's leave it off on this note right here, because this is exciting, because we have covered many, many different technical analysis in this space. And a lot of them recently, regardless of the current price, which is sitting at 47.48 cents right now for XRP, we have covered the idea that we will see $1 very soon from most of these analysts, and most of them go on to say between $10 and $20 in the very short near term. Well, take a look at this right here. It says XRP price may surge more than 60% now. Is $20 per XRP imminent? And when we look at this, it says, as per analysts, the major reason for price surge may be the losing momentum of SEC versus Ripple case, which has been losing a lot of ground. And in the best interest of Ripple, obviously. If the price rises by 60%, then the XRP price may even hit the target of $1. It says here also, under XRP price may also surge above $20 by mid-2020. Many analysts in the crypto space believe Ripple's XRP carries strong fundamentals and is also worldwide accepted as payment gateway. Therefore, the price is anticipated to spike up in the coming days to as high as $100. I tell you, for all the years that we watched all the good news happen for Ripple and XRP and the connection of market infrastructure, making new partners, ODL, RippleNet, for all those good things, we know that we didn't see XRP move for years in price. Because why? Because we know that the token can't pace Ripple's success, because if it does, then it really makes the best argument for it to be a security. However, while it has been underneath the melees of lawsuits, and the SEC included, we have seen a strengthening in the XRP price. We are certainly higher priced now than before we went into the lawsuit. One has to wonder, the more negative things that appear to be happening, the more positive results we see for XRP. Yeah, call me crazy. I mean, that may be true too, but I tell you, that's true. I mean, about the price and what we've seen. So I really do believe, sometime this year, I mean, maybe it goes longer, but I do believe sometime this year we will see some kind of legal settlement, summary judgment, whatever, for the SEC Ripple case that allows it to go forward and work on, even if there's other elements, even as attorney Jeremy Hogan has suggested, they could settle on one or two other matters and then take the rest of the things that are not settled and pursue those further. So we may see something like that happen, and that would be remarkable. But that's going to do it for me right now. I wouldn't be happy about a $1 XRP, let alone 100. Hit that like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Make sure you share with somebody you know. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Check out all the links in the description and the comment sections. They are products and services I use each and every day, and they are trusted, vetted links. Don't forget about the Ask Me Anything with Clinton Donnelly today at 3 o'clock. It is on my Twitter in the top of the feed there, so make sure you check that out, and I hope to see you there. I'll catch all of you on the next one.